I'm going to discuss on one particular subject which is controversial, and also the followers of some other religions condemned Buddhists as idol worshippers. But those who worship the Buddha image do not know how to explain, how to answer actually what they are doing. Just worship and pray and do some offering. But it is very significant if you can explain to others. So, Buddhism, Hinduism and Catholics, these three religions pray or worship or pay homage to images. To some people, it is very difficult to practice religion without an image. But it is not compulsory that every Buddhist must have a Buddha image to practice Buddhism. It is up to us. At the same time, others should not criticize or condemn us just because we worship the Buddha. I can tell you a very nice story. It is in Mahayana schools of Buddhism. 200 years after the Buddha, there was a well-known monk called Upagupta. When he preached, thousands of people assembled. Then more and more people started to come and attend his talk. Mara was watching. You know Mara. Buddhism say Mara. Muslims and Christians say Satan, and Hindus say Asura, against the Buddhism or religion. They always try to obstruct or disturb followers of any religion. So Mara was very unhappy when he saw more and more people assemble to attend his talk. What he did, he organized some sort of entertainment just opposite the temple. Beautiful dance and music and entertainment. Then people slowly turned toward the other side. Finally, Venerable Upagupta found that nobody to attend to his talk. All are enjoying the entertainment. Then Upagupta thought, no doubt this is done by Mara. Although he has disturbed the Buddha did not teach him a good lesson. But I am going to teach him a good lesson. Then he also went there. After watching, enjoying, he said, we really appreciate your entertainment. So in appreciation of your formation, I want to put a garland. So he was very proud. So Venerable Upagupta put a garland on his neck. Then he felt this garland is tightening his neck like a python. He tried and tried to take it out. He could not do anything. Then he went to Sakra. You know Sakra, the king of the Devas. Asked him to help. Please take out this, otherwise I may die. This is tightening my neck. He tried his best. He also could not take it out. Then he said, you must go to Mahabrahma, the creator God. I think he can do that. Then he went to Mahabrahma and appealed him to take out this garland. He also tried his best, but he could not take out. Then he said, I think only the person who has put this garland on your neck can take it out, nobody else. Then he decided to come back and apologize for interrupting his religious program and requested to take out the garland. Then Venerable Upagupta said, yes, I can do that under two conditions. First thing, in future, you should not come and disturb our religious program. He said, yes. Second item is, I am living 200 years after the Buddha. I have not seen the real Buddha figure. You have seen him. You can appear as Buddha because you got that power. Then Maharaj said, yes, I can do that, but under one condition. When I appeared as the Buddha, you should not worship me, because I am not a holy man. Then Upagupta said, no, I am not going to worship you. Then suddenly he appeared with all the 32 special characteristics of his physical body. So he was so happy. Then at once he worshipped. Then Maharaj shouted, you promised not to worship me. Why do you worship me? Then the Buddha said, you must understand, I did not worship you. I worship the Buddha. Here, whatever may be the object that you keep, you respect, pay homage, you worship the person, not that symbol or image. Then there is another story, also in Mahayana schools of Buddhism. When the Buddha was away for 3 months, all the disciples every day come and grumble and cry and worry, saying that why they cannot see the Buddha. Venerable Sariputta, his chief disciple, went to see the Buddha. Said, devotees are grumbling, crying that they want to see the Buddha. What can I do? Then the Buddha said, I cannot come back until I finish my preaching here. You can go back and ask the king to erect a Buddha image with all the features of the Buddha. He come back and approached the king. the king could manage to find out a suitable man who could erect the real figure of the Buddha with sandalwood. So, after that, they kept this image on the table. They started to worship because the Buddha figure is there. Everybody is happy. So one day, this is a wooden house. A rat came and taken away a burning wicks from the oil lamp. This is a 7-story building. When the rat carried this one upstairs, the fire burned his mouth, he dropped it there with the fire. Then the whole building turned into ashes. Then people were worried about not the building, about the Buddha image. So all of them come and started to dig and dig and dig and found out the wooden Buddha image remained without any damage. Then they had more devotions and confidence and again kept the image on the table. When the Buddha has completed his preaching, he come back. When the Buddha entered into that building, the image got down and went to meet the Buddha. Then the Buddha said to this image, "No, you must go back. You must stay here to represent when I am gone." Here, these are the stories that we can find in other schools of Buddhism. Images are not available. For 500 years after the Buddha, they never had any Buddha image. For 500 years after the Buddha, according to history. During the Greek occupation, they have influence for them to erect the images and religious symbols and all sort of. Then started to erect the Buddha image. That is historical. However, what is there for us to learn? You must understand, the Buddha was not very particular about the physical body. I think you have heard that incident. One of his disciples called Vakkali, every day he come and sit down in front of the Buddha and watching. And one day the Buddha asked Vakkali, "What are you doing here?" "Just like watching television." Then he said, "When I look at your features, your complexion, your serenity, it gives me a lot of happiness." Then what the Buddha said? "King te vakkal imina putikayena duggandhena sarirena." Vakkali, by watching this dirty, filthy, smelly and very uncertain, impermanent physical body, what do you gain? You entertain only your emotion. You never gain any knowledge about the Buddha or his teaching. Then the Buddha said, Yo dhammang passati, so mang passati. One who sees or one who can understand the Dhamma taught by the Buddha, in this Dharma you can see the real Buddha figure, not by watching the physical body. Here you can understand Buddha was not interested erecting any images and admiring the beauty of the physical body. You must enrich your knowledge, your understanding of the Dhamma. Then you can see the real Buddha in your mind. Because according to Mahayana Buddhism, there are 3 bodies of the Buddha: Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya. Nirmanakaya, the body that he used for eating, drinking, sleeping, walking as usual human being. That is one of the bodies of the Buddha. Sambhogakaya, kaya means body. The body that he used for preaching, talking, advising, guiding people. But after his passing away, these 2 Buddha bodies disappeared. Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya. But Dharma body of the Buddha never died, never disappeared. Dharma body remains forever. That means Buddha is not dead. People cannot understand this. Buddha is not his name. For his enlightenment, we call him Buddha. One of his discourses he has mentioned, whether the Buddhas appear or not, Dharma exists forever in this world. Dharma is not created by the Buddha. Dharma exists. When the Buddhas appear, they reveal, they explain, they teach others, because people have forgotten or misinterpreted or misused, blindfolded in the name of Dharma. People have misconception. So when the Buddhas appear from time to time, he introduced the real Dharma again. That is why a Buddha appeared in this world to reveal the real Dharma. What is Dharma? Why the teachings of the Buddha is called Dharma? Dharmata, natural occurrences, not created by the Buddha or created by the God, natural occurrences. Because people have wrong belief, imagination about natural occurrences. Take for instance, things come into existence, exist for a certain period, then go on changing, again going on decaying, and then disintegrate, dissolve, completely disappear. So people could not understand. So they created different concepts that God create and God destroy. The Buddha mentioned, it is not the act of God. This is the natural occurrence. If anything come into existence due to combinations of matters and mind, or only elements without mind, they remain for a certain period as long as the binding factors, energies remain. When these energies started to loosen, then going on changing. When they started to separate, going on decaying, after that completely disappeared. That is called dharma. Dharmata. Take another example. A child is born. This child is slowly growing. There is nobody behind to support this child to grow. After growing, then become a youth. After that, become an adult. After that, become an old man. After that, one day, face to death. All these things are natural occurrences, not created by anybody. So anything happen in this world, all these things are natural occurrences. There is no God or anybody behind. That is what the Buddha wanted to teach us. Now, I told you, Buddha was not interested for erecting images. That is why for 500 years they have never erected any images. But I told you, during the Greek occupation, they started to erect the Buddha figure. Then started to develop all over the world Buddha images. Some people depend on the Buddha image. Without Buddha image, they cannot practice Buddhism. But some others can practice Buddhism without depending any image, because they can create the Buddha in their mind. Mr. Nehru, Prime Minister of India, long ago, when he was arrested for fighting to gain independence, British government arrested him. When he was in the jail, he had the small Buddha image in his bag. Although he was not a Buddhist, he had been keeping this Buddha image in his bag. So what he did, he take out the image and keep on the table and watch the face of the Buddha, smiling face. Then he started to think, in spite of all these troubles and problems and difficulties and calamities, if Buddha can maintain smiling face, why not we follow him? Why not we face all these problems without grumbling, accusing, blaming, crying and worrying? That he followed the Buddha. To him, the Buddha image was very important at that time. I met an American lady. One day he came here. She opened her bag and took out a small Buddha image. She told me she had been keeping this Buddha image for 40 years. But she was not a Buddhist. But he said, I strongly believe this Buddha image can protect me. So she gained confidence by depending on this Buddha image. A Chinese philosopher one day visited the museum in London. First time in his life, he saw a Buddha image. By watching this image, he said, if God has come down to this earth, this is the figure of God. He has never learned anything about the Buddha, but watching the figure of the Buddha, he had such a great, understanding and image influence his mind to say like this, although he was not a Buddhist. Another scholar has written a book. He has written there, actually, if you want to know what the Buddha taught, not necessary to read any book. You go and look at the Buddha's face. He mentioned one particular place. You must go and look at and watch that particular Buddha image. Then you can understand everything. His face indicates everything what he preached. During the Second World War, in Burma, they found a small Buddha image. British soldiers. They sent this image to Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of England at that time, with a note. You better keep this image on your table. Whenever you have worries, fear, disappointment, look at the face of this image. I believe that you can reduce your fear and worries and frustration. They were not Buddhists. Here you can understand how the Buddha image influenced even non-Buddhists. Now let us come to talk what Buddhists are doing by keeping an image. Others condemn us saying we worship the Buddha as idol worshippers. We are not idol worshippers. We do not worship the idols. We keep the Buddha image as symbol. That symbol influences our mind, calm our mind. Then we will be able to concentrate very easily. then they pay respect, pay homage. We can say it is not worshipping and not praying. We cannot use the word that Buddhists are praying to images. Then it is wrong. They should not pray to Buddha image. And when the Buddha was alive, people never come and pray him. They regarded him as great master or teacher, but not to come and pray. There, we actually do not pray to images asking something what we need, asking something to help us to get rid of our problems and troubles and disturbances. But if we take the image as symbol, we develop confidence in the Buddha, and we are worshipping, paying homage, paying respect to the real Buddha, not to this image. We do not worship this image, but this image is a symbol. When you look at his face, you can gain lot of happiness, satisfaction, reduce your tension, fear, worries, disturbances. Then you can take the Buddha image as an object for your meditation. Buddhanussati bhavana. Concentrate on the great qualities, virtues of the Buddha. Now when you recite Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijjacharana sampanno sugatto lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarathi sattha deva manussana. 9 virtues, characteristic of the Buddha mentioned here. So by mentioning the great virtues and the qualities of the Buddha, we pay homage, pay respect. It is not praying. That is what others could not understand. So Buddhists do not pray to any image. They pay respect and take as an object for them to concentrate, for them to meditate, and to remember the great qualities, virtues of the Buddha. It is Buddhanussati bhavana. Concentrate on the Buddha. That is what Buddhists are doing. So many others who could not understand this, they say we are idol worshippers, and we do not know how to explain to others. I know one of our members who had been keeping a Buddha image in his house for 45 years. One day, a Christian mission entered into his house. Straight away told him, "You are worshipping to a dead man. Buddha is not a god, he is a man, he is dead. What can he do for you? Why do you want to keep this? Why do you want to worship this?" He came and told me, "Actually, I do not know what to say. This is the problem with our Buddhists. They worship, they offer, but they do not know actually what they are doing. when they say Buddha is not a god, he is a man. If you try to prove that the Buddha is God, we are wrong. We reduce the real great qualities, virtues, wisdom of the Buddha if we try to introduce the Buddha as a god. You do not know that. Why? A god cannot become a Buddha. Any divine beings cannot become the Buddha. Only human beings. Why? We are called Manushya. Mana Ussannata. One who can raise, develop, cultivate the mind up to the maximum level. That living being is called Manushya, human. You cannot find another living being among the 31 group of living beings in this universe that can compare with the human mind. Human beings have thinking mind. Others have mind. They use their mind to find out their food and protection and shelter and sexual pleasure. Only for this purpose. They do not know what to think beyond that. Let us take Devas and Brahmas, divine beings. We worship them, thinking they are very powerful and they can help us, support us. We worship them. But you do not know even the king of the Deva, the Sakra, worship a human being. We do not know them. So one day, he was worshipping to one direction. Then his attendant, Matali, said, "You are the king of this heaven. To whom are you worshipping?" Then he said, it is written in Pali language what he has said. Ye gahatta punyakara Silavanta upasaka dhammena dharang posinti tan namassami sarati. I respect those human beings, igata punyakara, those who perform meritorious deeds. Meritorious deed means doing some good work with good intention. That is called merit. Helping others, supporting others, and release others' sufferings and problems and sicknesses and whatever we can. Again, supporting the religious activities to influence the people for them to follow religious way of life. These are called meritorious deeds. I respect those who perform meritorious deeds. Punyakara. Silavanta. I respect those who observe precepts. You observe 5 precepts, 8 precepts, 10 precepts, and there are more. I respect those who observe precept. Why? They never do any harm to any living being. They never bluff or cheat or swindle others' things. They allow others to live peacefully. Therefore I respect them. for their noble life, respectable life. Egahatta punyakara. Silavanta, upasaka. Upasaka, upasika, male, female. Upasaka, upasika. After reducing too much of sensual pleasure, worldly material gain, they devote their time to do some service to others, to guide others, advise others, because they have more experience, more knowledge, maturity, understanding. Therefore, instead of enslaving to sensual pleasure, they must use their knowledge, understanding, experience to guide others who have not learned how to lead a respectable life. They are called upasaka. Without becoming monk, they remain as householders or laymen. But their way of life is reduce too much of worldly sensual pleasure, devote more time for religious activities, to guide others, help others, support others, enlighten others. They are called upasaka. I respect them. Dhammena dharang posinti. I also respect those who support their family members without creating any bad deed, wicked or cruel or harmful thing. Very respectable way, they work hard, they earn, they support their family members. I respect it. Here you can understand, Devas also respect when the human beings become more virtuous, more religious and more devout. But we think that Devas are more powerful. Yes. How did they become Devas? O Brahmans? During their previous birth, they were human beings. As human beings, they have done lot of meritorious deeds. Through the influence of these merit, very virtuous, they had the opportunity to be born in certain Devaloka or heavenly realm as Devas. And their life is not like human life. And females never give birth. Spontaneous birth. That means life just appeared. But we cannot understand, we cannot believe. But yes, it is. Then they have no sicknesses. They have no old age. They exist, they enjoy their life up to maximum level. Then one day suddenly disappear. So their life is just like a flame of a candle. As long as wicks and wax remain, the flame also exists. When no more wax, no more wicks, that flame disappears. Same thing happened to those Devas. Then what will happen to them after that? That is the most important thing. While enjoying their life up to the maximum level, they never form any religious practice. They have no particular religion. Whole life is for enjoyment and pleasurable things. Human beings are more fortunate, the Buddha says. Why? While living as humans, we can understand we are here in this world. We enjoy our life just because we have done some meritorious deeds during our previous birth. We are spending all the good merits that we have accumulated. What will happen to us if we die simply by spending all the merit that we have accumulated? By knowing this, they try to prepare for the next existence. There is no another living being who can do that, because they have no idea of another existence. This is the most advanced level of human life. Now, especially as Buddhists, we believe this is not the first and the last life. Continuity is there. So if birth and death and birth and death, it is natural, not created by anybody. Some people say, we don't believe in rebirth. Not necessary to believe. It is natural. Just because they don't believe, can they stop rebirth? Never. It is natural. Not created by God or God, Buddha. It is natural. So, use our common sense. How Buddha explained. A group of young people approached the Buddha and said, at the moment we have no proper religion. There are many religions, they talk that their religion is better than other religion, therefore we cannot decide which religions to accept. Can you please advise us? Then the Buddha has given 10 guidance for them to consider how to choose a religion. And some of them, you should not believe anything just because others come and tell you. Don't depend on them to understand religion. You should not believe this is our tradition, this is our way of life, therefore we must practice this, we must follow this. No, there is no religion for you to accept like that. If not, you should not think the majority here in this country or in this world follow this religion. Therefore, we also must follow that religion. According to the Buddha, majority here in this world are not understanding people. Only very few people are there who can understand things properly, the Buddha says. Therefore, they follow their religion, thinking they are right, others are wrong. But don't follow them. Again, it may appeal to your mind. You think this is very nice. You should not accept a religion, thinking in that way. These are the few advices given by the Buddha how to choose a religion. Then he said, when you do something, if you are not going to harm others or harm yourself, then accept this as religion. You can enjoy yourself by harming, disturbing others. don't accept that kind of religion. You can entertain others and you lead a miserable life. Don't accept this kind of religion. Whatever you do, if you can gain some sort of satisfaction and happiness, and if others also gain some sort of happiness, then accept this kind of activities as religion. Then they were fully understood. Actually, we do not follow rebirth, life after our death. And the Buddha said, it is not necessary to believe. Whether you believe or not, it is natural. You cannot stop that saying or thinking that you don't believe that. If it is natural occurrence. This is the Buddha's way of teaching. Then they satisfied, then accepted the teachings of the Buddha. Then, again let us come back to the images. Today, in many parts of the world, people erect different kind of images according to their own way of thinking, without following the guidance given in religious teaching. The Buddha's features, 32 characteristics in his physical body is like this. Without regarding this, they erect images according to their way of thinking. You know, in many places you can see belly Buddhas. That is their imagination, that is prosperity, satisfaction. They indicate in that way. In certain places, they erect 4 faces Buddhas and they worship. Especially ladies like that. Why? This Buddha can see where their husband goes. Because you got face here, face here, face here, face here, he can see properly. Therefore, they worship more to this kind of Buddhas. This is our imagination. Now people started to erect image of Maitreya Buddha. He did not become the Buddha yet. He remained as a Bodhisattva in any part of the world. He is cultivating, developing all the great qualities, virtues, then attain the Buddhahood. But in many countries, they started to erect the image of Maitreya Buddha. How can they erect the Maitreya Buddha? Still he did not become the Buddha. So we should not become slaves to images. Take image as a symbol, as an object for us to follow the Buddha, to gain more confidence, to calm our mind. When we have fear, worries, problems, we can pay homage to the Buddha. We can concentrate great virtues, good qualities of the Buddha. Then you can remember certain advices given by him. Then you can reduce your fear, worries, tension, suspicion you had in your mind. Then you gain some sort of confidence. Definitely. If you pay homage to the Buddha image, by considering like this, but you should not worship the Buddha image to become rich, make more money, to get lucky numbers. if you play the images, you never gain these things from the image. Don't expect anything from the image. That is why others condemn us as idol worshippers. Now Hindus, they have more images because they have three gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Again, Catholics, they have image of Jesus and Virgin Mary. They pray and worship. But Christians do not create images. They take only symbol, the cross, to pay respect and to follow, but no images. That is why Christians say Catholics are not Christians. They are idol worshippers. They are wrong. They respect their master, their teacher, and explain the great qualities and virtues and services that they have done. Therefore, there is nothing wrong. When our father or mother died, we create a very good image. Image means picture of the father and mother. It is just like idol worshipping to others. But they are doing that. Why do they want to keep the image or the picture of their father or mother or to respect them? Then how can they criticize Buddhists? By keeping Buddha image and worship them. So the image is important for us to remember the great qualities and virtues. When we have fear and worry, look at his face, as Mr. Nehru said, and can calm our mind, can reduce our fear and worries. That is why we are keeping a Buddha image. But we should not distort the figure of the Buddha, erecting four-faced Buddhas, belly Buddhas, and so many kinds of Buddhas in different countries. So, now nearly 1 hour. I think you can understand what you are doing. If you have not understood, now you can understand why we should pay homage, pay respect, worship the Buddha. We do not worship this image. We worship the Buddha. When you look at the image, you can recall the Buddha into your mind. Then you worship the Buddha. That is what others could not understand. That is why they say we are idol worshippers. And Sikhism, Sikh Punjabis, they also do not have any image. They have their holy book, Guru Grantha. Guru Grantha, Grantha means book. They worship and pray to this book. Again, there is another schools of Buddhism, Japanese, Nichiren. They also have no any image. They do not worship the Buddha image. They have one particular book, one sutra uttered by the Buddha, and keep this book as an altar and worship and recite and pray. They are against the keeping the images. Then Judaism, Jews, the origin of Christianity and Islam, and they also have no any images. Hindus have so many, and Buddhists have only Buddha image, and Christians have two, Jesus and Virgin Mary. Therefore, we pay respect, we pay homage in appreciations of their services they have rendered. This symbol remind us, recall the person, the Buddha or God into their mind. Therefore, that allegation that we are idol worshippers and we are sinful and we cannot go to heaven if we worship the idols, they are wrong. And now remember how to answer. When the Buddha is not a God, he is a man. The Buddha cannot, God cannot become a Buddha because they cannot develop their mind up to that maximum level. Only human mind can do that. Step by step, when somebody asks, having seen the Buddha, he has never seen such a serene figure in his life. He could not understand this is a human being. He approached the Buddha and asked, "May I know whether you are a God?" The Buddha said, "No." But others say they are God or son of God or messenger of God. But the Buddha said, "No, I am not a God." Then he asked, "There are any other form of supernatural living being?" The Buddha says, "No, I am very natural." Then he asked, "In that case, are you an ordinary human being?" Buddha says, "No." Now confusing in his mind who this person is. Neither God, nor an angel, nor a human being. Then who are you? The answer given by the Buddha, his self-introduction is very important. Many people do not know. If others come and ask, you worship, you follow the Buddha, can you tell me actually who the Buddha is? Very few people can explain who the real Buddha. The self-introduction given by the Buddha is really wonderful, very clear. He said, "Abhiññeyang abhiññātam." I understood everything that exists in this world. How did he do that? Life after life, he went on developing his knowledge, his mind, his wisdom, understanding. Therefore, he realized everything that exists. Bhavetabbanca bhavita. I have practiced all the great qualities, virtues, principles, morals in this world at the maximum level, life after life. Then, pahatabbang pahinang me. I have eradicated all the evil, wicked, cruel, harmful, immoral thoughts, words and actions. Tasma buddhosmi brahmana. Therefore, I am the Buddha. I am not a God or angel or ordinary human being. This is a wonderful explanation. Please remember. One who has understood everything, developing his mind life after life, not within one lifetime. One who has cultivated all the great qualities, virtues, principles, things. And one who has eradicated, completely destroyed all the wicked thoughts, ideas and actions and words, and then that person becomes the Buddha. We worship to that Buddha. Then no one can say you are worshipping to a man or dead man. and explained by Mahayana schools of Buddhism, the Buddha, 3 bodies of the Buddha, the other 2 disappear after his passing away. But the Dharma body of the Dharma, exists forever. Therefore no one can say Buddha is dead. Buddha cannot die. That physical body he had, that he used, disappeared. But the Buddha appeared. Buddha is not the figure. See, must understand this. Buddha is living. Buddha means one who understood the Dharma, who preached the Dhamma, and the Buddha says Dharma exists forever, whether the Buddhas appear or not. This is the way how to understand. When others come and condemn you and ask to stop worshipping to a dead man, why not to worship our God to go to heaven? By worshipping to this man you cannot go to heaven. Then you can say, actually we don't want to go to your heaven, that is for you, not for us. Why should we go to your heaven? As Buddhists, we have 6 kinds of heaven, but you have only one. We can choose which heaven is best for us, but you cannot do that. But you don't know how to tell. Jatum Maharajika Tavastinja Yama Tusita Dinmanati Paramita Vasavat. The name of those Brahma Deva realms, where Devas experience wonderful, happy, peaceful, enjoyable life. So we can go to one of those places. Why should we follow, what you call, pray to go to their heaven?